Yeah. They better get their hands off of Syria. Yeah. You better get your hands off of Syria. Don't believe all the media hysteria. They say the whole country is against the side. What about every single pro-government march? What about the character of the opposition? What kind of government do they really envision? It's like Libya 2.0 if you ask me. The CIA is now just sitting and laughing. They take popular discontent and spin it. Want to see the Arab Revolution diminished. What about Palestine support from Damascus? Will that still remain if the country is captured? Clear that the Zionists support the rebels. They want to see the Baptist state just leveled. Who really benefits is the question to ask. We should know much better from the most recent past. The balance of forces in the world today. Know the biggest enemy is the USA. Though they scheme and manipulate each step of the way, but they not messing with Syria today. They better get their hands off of Syria.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome Johnny Achi from Arab Americans for Syria. Johnny, welcome to KPFK in Southern California.
Hello, Don. Good to be on the show again.
It's been a while. I know we've been covering Syria consistently for 3 years. We, within the African community, globally believe that we have to have an independent view of U.S. foreign policy and not go along with the position of the Zionist-controlled U.S. Congress and presidency. It's from that perspective that my travels to Syria, as well as many other comrades, we've identified Syria, the present government, as a progressive government in relationship to many of the governments in that area, especially Israel, in the sense that it is a democratic country in terms of religious freedom. You don't have to be a Jew or Muslim to have freedom. We had contact with the Christians there. Women are fully liberated in Syria. I mean, the whole list goes on. And that's been our consistent theme for 3 years. What we'd like to do today is address an update, because we did have the fund drive. We've been off the air. Things change. We want to know what the situation is like in Syria today. But also importantly, the United States financed ISIS and its subsets as a military, mercenary terrorist effort to overthrow the government of Syria. Now it appears to have boomeranged back on the U.S. Can you kind of elaborate upon Israel and the United States and these jihadist groups?
Absolutely, Didan. But firstly, please, let me just mention something. I haven't been on the show for a few weeks with you, and of course, the whole time that we had the war on Gaza. Mm-hmm. And I just want to voice my opinion in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Palestine has always been part of Syria just before the Balfour Declaration, when they created the State of Israel in the land of Palestine. So Palestinians are Syrians in origin, basically, the south of Syria. Today, as we speak right now, we have a big rally, and 1,000 people are marching toward the CNN building. That we are trying to say that we'll no longer sit back and allow you to manipulate information to benefit, the agenda, the U.S. agenda, and the mainstream agenda. So there's going to be 1,000 people right now, as we speak, walking towards CNN building. They'll be there till about 4 p.m. I would love for anyone who can come down and join us. Back to the Syrian topic. ISIS, Didan, I've said it on your show for at least a couple of years, since the Syrian ambassador to the UN came out in November 2012 with the proof and evidence that, this is a jihadist group that is going to become too dangerous for the whole region and for the world. Of course, no one was listening to them. Today, we hear the crying ISIS is waging a genocide. Okay, if we're going to be concerned about ISIS waging genocide, then we should really be concerned about the fact that the U.S. government is the one who's helped to fund these jihadists. Okay, who are today wiping out Christians, honestly, in Syria. They've been doing it for 2 years, but no one has been listening. And in Iraq, in the city of Mosul, hundreds of thousands of Christians have to flee or face death. And now they're moving on to the Yazidis, another minority group in Iraq. So the American people have to understand that these groups, these jihadist groups, are right now working inside of Iraq and in Syria to have basically been supported by Saudi Arabia. I mean, we need to know where the money is coming from. These jihadist budget is in the trillions of dollars. So we need to go to the source, not just blame the problem. Go to the source and find out where the resources are coming. You're going to point back to the United States. I do want to talk about the UN resolution that took place yesterday. I don't mean to be sarcastic, but finally the UN yesterday passed a resolution cutting funding. What do you mean by cutting funding? So they're admitting that there is funding to the ISIS. So by saying that we're cutting funding to ISIS and Nusra Front, by stopping buying stolen oil and stolen gas from ISIS, where they're stealing it from Syrians' wealth, of course. So the resolution talks about cutting or boycotting the buying of this. What I like to say is for more than 3 years, Didan, we've spoken on your show, Syria has been fighting terrorism and been fighting the same exact extreme groups. Okay, we've been trying to attract the attention of the same member council yesterday that passed this resolution. I just mentioned 2012 November, Dr. Jafari showed proofs and evidence that these jihadists are flocking from all over the world into Syria. He has showed evidence that most of the weapons is U.S.-made weapons is flowing from Libya through the Lebanese borders and through the Turkish borders. Have we listened? Have we not ignored all these, documented complaints? We probably wouldn't have to meet yesterday, and we don't have to see all the Christian Yazidis right now fleeing for their lives. So, again, the question I'm asking is why cut off the funding? Why not cut off sending weapons? Why are we talking about in the middle of the problem? Why we don't go to the source of the problem? Nobody is talking about cutting off weapons to these extremist groups. On the contrary, the U.S. and the West is suggesting arming the Kurds and arming the Yazidis and arming the Christians to fight back. So, we look back and we say, do we know that all the weapons who are being used in the Middle East today are U.S.-made? Do we know that ISIS, all the advanced weapons they have, are all U.S.-made? So why can't we go to the source of the problem, Didan, and just stop funding and stop sending weapons to these jihadists? Stop our allies of Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Turkey from sending weapons instead of coming to UN and making a resolution way too late to, not fight the root of the problem, but try to deal with the problem that we have at hand.
Last time we talked, Johnny, many of the so-called secular groups that had issues with the government, I'm not talking about trying to overthrow the government, but had protests and complaints with the government, had in fact joined with the government and formed an alliance to stop their country being used as a launching pad for both domestic in Syria as well as for regional usurpation of governments in that area. What is the progress of this unity government that's being formed, especially with the recent elections?
You mean in Syria?
Yes.
In Syria, it's very high. Didan, there's some really great news from Damascus every day. Thank God. The Syrian army is moving in, especially, in South Aleppo and in the outskirts of Damascus. You've been to Damascus. We were there last year, and we know how the checkpoints work. All checkpoints have been removed, Didan, from the inside of the city. People are living a normal life. They're, the army is doing a remarkable job fighting. So what we need now is the political opposition to join hand with the current Syrian government, and this is going to happen because there is no more way out of this. The Syrian people are tired. They are absolutely rejecting all these terrorist groups. The freedom does not mean the freedom to corrupt or the freedom to destroy. Freedom is to improve life, not to take us backwards 2,000 years. So there is talk today. I do want to go back to the U.S. government. The U.S. government has used ISIS in Syria to try and topple the Syrian regime and failed, and have used the ISIS in Iraq. We all know, or the Obama administration is pushing for regime change in Iraq, and he got it, right? And they're using it based on that the Nur al-Maliki is too sectarian. Okay, the truth is Maliki being too sectarian never factored into Washington's decision to have him removed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whether he's been too sectarian or not is completely irrelevant. The real reason he's under attack is because he wouldn't sign the status of forces agreement in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
He refused to grant immunity to the tens of thousands of troops the administration wanted to leave behind in Iraq following the formal withdrawal. Now, so what has happened, that the new administration wanted Maliki replaced, and they got it replaced. And they used ISIS to do that, to put pressure on the government. Now, what I need to say is that we spoke, you and I, many times about the ISIS is like a three-edged sword for the United States. Number one, it's fighting the Syrian army and weakening the Syrian army, and that's something that's blessed for the U.S. and Israel together. Number two is promoting sectarian divide, and that's for the partitioning of the area, and that is a long time, Israel and United States, wish. Thirdly, it uses a pretext for intervention. Remember, we talked about pretext. The United States government needs the pretext to intervene in Syria and Iraq, and they finally got it. Today, we see the United States is bombing northern Iraq, part of northern Iraq, and I'm going to tell you what, it's not bombing it for the state to save the Christian and the Yazidis, because they could have done that for weeks ago. It's not bombing it because of the oil.
Mm-hmm.
And, we know what the oil in northern Iraq, we have, I was reading yesterday a funny article saying that I give you 10 reasons why the U.S. right now is bombing near Erbil in Iraq. And it started with reason number 1, Chevron. And it goes all the way down to reason number 10, ExxonMobil, and the 8 other reasons are different oil companies that are absolutely there. Those are the 10 reasons why the U.S. And it's not me saying it, it's not this writer said it. I remember 2007, the Secretary of Defense, Chuck Hagel, today, he said, people say we're not fighting for oil. No, we are fighting for oil. What do you think when we talk about America's national interest? What is America's national interest? We're not there for figs, and that's his own words. So national interest for the United States is oil. It's not humans, it's not people, it's not human rights, it's not freedom, it's just oil. And that's why the United States right now is bombing. And it will be very limited just to keep them off. Actually, it's a message. What's the message that the Obama administration is sending to ISIS? It's simply saying you can kill as many Arabs, you can kill as many Christians as you want, or Yazidis, but if you lay a finger on even one oil well, we're going to nuke you into oblivion. And that's exactly what's taking place today in Iraq.
Well, Brother Johnny, we thank you very much, Arab Americans for Syria. If people want more information, how can they contact you or the organization?
The Facebook.com/AA4Syria, AA4 Syria.
We thank you very much, Johnny.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Take care.
Bye.